Hey everybody, welcome to March wines. It's been a while since I've done some videos, but I thought this month's wines actually deserve them. The theme of the month is what I did on my winter vacation. I was in Uruguay and Argentina for a couple of weeks. Visited some wineries that we've had before, that I've talked about before, and we're revisiting some wines too for the first time. So let's start with wine number one. It is Sacrum Geisha de Jade. And we did a Sacrum wine just a couple of months ago. We did the Monastrell Mourvedre, otherwise known as Mourvedre, and highly rated wine, really good wine. I think we did that in December. And at the time, it was one of only 3 wineries out of the now about 125 wines that I've repeated, and never had repeated a wine until this month. We did Geisha de Jade probably two years ago. So this is year 3. We're in year 3. We've had over 120 wines, but I think it's about 125 now, 126. And again, only repeated 3 wineries. And this is the first time we're actually repeating a wine. Different vintage. This is the 2022. And I'll tell you how I've learned about Sacrum. I mean, that's a gorgeous label, right? I mean, really pretty label. This is Marsanne Roussanne blend. But what drew me to Sacrum was, I like this intersection of art and wine. And the back label is pretty spectacular. It is blood of fish, and it is a Klimt painting. And it appeared in the art. There was a secessionist artists or creators movement in Austria back at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. And the secessionist movement put out a magazine called Sacrum, which is the sacred spring, the eternal spring. And this sketch appeared in one of those first magazines, first journals. The Klimt, you've seen his paintings, was president of this movement for a while too. So I see this painting, and it's on the back label of a bottle of wine. A bottle of wine that's not easy to find. I do some research and find out about Sacrum and Eduardo Soler, who was a mountaineer and ski patrol professional for years, who then took this incredible passion and turned it into winemaking, but not just any winemaking in Argentina. He's part of a small select group of rebels, of secessionists, if you will, who try to go beyond the mass production of Malbec and come up with grapes that aren't typical in the area. So he's growing all Rhone grapes and some Spanish grapes. This is a Marsanne Roussanne blend. Only makes like in the hundreds of cases. So when I first wanted this wine 2-3 years ago, I got in touch with the wholesaler, and at the time, only 20 cases of it were available in the New York area. And I grabbed a whole bunch of them for Wine Club, and the store grabbed some too. So here I am just a couple weeks ago at Eduardo's home, this gorgeous home that had been abandoned for 50 years. It was the governor of Mendoza's home, and he and his wife Amelia have painstakingly restored it. I mean, it's a spectacular home, big commitment to art. They even have an Italian artist in residence living there part of the year. And so I got to go to his home and taste with him, but couldn't taste this wine. He had none of this specific wine left because he makes so little, so popular that it just kind of flies. So when I was putting this month together, I called the importer, and I said, by the way, what do you have from Sacrum? And it showed up that there were 7 cases of this, and that was it in the New York metro area available. And so I grabbed, I think, almost all of them. So we're going to have a little bit extra left over for people who like this and want to buy it. I mean, this is not just that's a gorgeous label. Even you see that's got a nice little relief on it. I mean, this recreation of the Klimt painting in the back is really, again, this is what kind of led me to this wine in the first place, to learn about it. Eduardo is amazing. His passion and his knowledge was incredible. Just being in his home and tasting with him was pretty incredible too. A couple of months before I was there, Peter from the Wine Club, Peter Bodke, was doing a 5-month tour around, by motorcycle around South America, messaged me and said, "Hey, who's the guy who came on the Zoom that night from Argentina, Mendoza?" And I said, "Eduardo Soler." So I gave him the contact information, and Peter's timing was remarkable. There was this like really cool hip wine fair going on in the city of Mendoza. Mendoza is a major city, second largest city in the country of Argentina, and this event was pretty amazing. Some of the best boutique wineries that are in that region. So Peter went, and Peter even got some pictures took some pictures of Eduardo and Amelia and some of their friends. Even was able to feed them out of his knapsack because it was such a great event. So as he told me, so I was happy to be able to go to Mendoza, drive to his place, met his wife, and spend some time in a spectacular home, and then to grab this wine again for all you. Marsanne Roussanne are both Southern French grapes. This makes a little bit richer wine, but because he's at a high elevation in Mendoza, where they actually even get some snow sometimes, not quite as rich and ripe. He makes his wines organically, sustainably, I believe biodynamic too. Alcohol percent on this is only 12.5%, so it's not going to be tropical and flabby, but still have some real richness to it. Really beautiful wine, and I hope you enjoy it tremendously. On to the next wine.